The name Black Plague for us represents, I don't even know anymore. So if you're not familiar, the plague doctor was someone who was contracted by the city back during the medieval times when there was a lot of plagues and diseases that were outbreaking, and they needed someone to come in and treat them. Traditional doctors weren't really prepared for this, nor were they willing to do it. So they found these empiric doctors who gained most of their knowledge by way of experimentation, testing, trial and error. Those doctors donned a beak mask that they would fill with different herbs like rosemary, clove, think of a potpourri type mix, to help protect them from breathing in the plague, because at the time they believed that the plague was spread through the air. And they'd put on a long coat and gloves and a cane to poke and prod at people to go out into these plague-ridden territories and help treat people. And it didn't matter if you were rich or poor or what your status was. Their job was to help rebuild the community. The idea of the plague doctor being that he wears a mask, it kind of hides his identity and gives him the ability to go out and be a little bit anonymous while facing new challenges. That really resonated with us, and that's kind of where the name Black Plague came from. The more that we connected with the character of the plague doctor, it really spoke to us in terms of who we are as people, and being that we all come from different backgrounds and have different skill sets and different history, but we're able to come together and face these challenges. It really meant that the plague doctor was a representation of all of us, and that's where the name Black Plague came from, because he was someone who was from that period of time and went out to fight that pandemic and help save the community, basically. Being that the plague doctor learned most of their medical skills from experimentation and trial and error, it's very similar to the way you come up with a great new recipe for beer. It's a lot of trial and error, it's a lot of testing new recipes, a lot of sensory panels, smelling and tasting. And so we thought that was a really cool way of representing us as people, as brewers, as a team of misfits, renegades, rule breakers, people who don't come from a traditional background of, I went to school, got a degree, now I'm on my career path. The plague doctor represented us in the way that they didn't follow the traditional route. They were kind of outcasts of their time. People regarded them as dark, mysterious figures, but in reality, they were actually rebuilding the community.